In 1998, the FBI raided a Long Island brokerage firm and uncovered one of the biggest financial frauds in American history. The man behind it? A 36-year-old college dropout who threw dwarf-tossing parties, spent $12 million a year on drugs, and convinced thousands of Americans to hand over their life savings. His name was Jordan Belfort, and for nearly a decade, he got away with everything. This is the story of how he built an empire on lies, why it took so long to stop him, and the dark truth Hollywood didn't show you. Before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy true crime stories like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with someone who'd love it too. Jordan Belfort is 25 years old, broke, and selling meat door to door on Long Island. He's failed at everything, but then he stumbles into a tiny brokerage firm in Manhattan and discovers something that changes his life forever. Penny stocks. Here's what most people don't understand. Penny stocks are shares in companies worth less than $5. They're not traded on major exchanges. They're basically financial garbage. But Belfort realizes something brilliant and twisted. The less a stock is worth, the easier it is to manipulate. In 1989, he opened Stratton Oakmont in a strip mall in Queens, and he builds it on one simple scheme: pump and dump. Here's how it worked. Belfort would buy millions of shares in a worthless company for pennies. Then his brokers would cold call thousands of people, middle-class Americans, retirees, people who knew nothing about stocks, and sell them a dream. They'd use high-pressure tactics, fake urgency, scripted lies. This stock is about to explode. Get in now or regret it forever. And people bought. The stock price would skyrocket, and then Belfort would sell everything. The price would crash, and investors would lose it all. By 1991, Stratton Oakmont is making $100 million a year. Belfort is personally taking home $50 million annually. He buys a 167-foot yacht that once belonged to Coco Chanel. He throws parties with prostitutes and live bands. He's snorting cocaine off his desk at 10 a.m. But here's the dark side no one talks about. While Belfort is living like a king, his victims are losing their homes, their retirements, their children's college funds. One investor lost $100,000, his entire life savings. Another lost his business. These weren't Wall Street elites. These were everyday people. And Belfort didn't care. He called his victims schmucks. Here's the insane part. Everyone knew Stratton Oakmont was dirty. The SEC investigated them in 1992. The NASD investigated them in 1993. The FBI opened a file in 1994. So why didn't they stop him? Because Belfort was a master at covering his tracks. He bribed accountants. He hired expensive lawyers. He moved money through offshore accounts in Switzerland. He created shell companies that hid his fingerprints. And most importantly, he made sure his brokers took the fall if anything went wrong. But Belfort's real genius was his ability to fool the world. To the public, Stratton Oakmont looked legitimate. They had a massive office in Lake Success, New York, over 1,000 employees. They were making headlines as one of the fastest growing firms in America. Belfort even hired Danny Porish, his right-hand man, to handle the operations while he played the role of charismatic CEO. Together, they created a culture of greed and excess that made everyone feel like they were part of something special. Brokers were making six figures in their 20s. They were addicted to the money, and they asked no questions. But in 1996, everything starts to unravel. The FBI agent investigating Belfort, a guy named Greg Coleman, gets a break. One of Belfort's brokers flips and starts talking. Then another, and another. They discover something massive. Belfort didn't just scam retail investors. He manipulated the IPO of Steve Madden's shoes and made $20 million in a single day. He laundered money through a Swiss banker named Jean-Jacques Sorel. He had a money courier smuggling cash across borders. The walls are closing in. But even then, Belfort thinks he's untouchable. In 1998, the FBI finally has enough evidence. They raid Stratton Oakmont. They seize documents. They arrest employees. And they give Belfort a choice: cooperate or spend decades in prison. Belfort's biggest mistake? He thought he could negotiate his way out. He agreed to wear a wire. He ratted out his closest friends, his business partners, even Danny Porish. He thought if he gave them everyone else, he'd walk free. He was wrong. In 2003, Jordan Belfort is sentenced to 4 years in federal prison. He ends up serving only 22 months. He's ordered to pay $110 million in restitution to his victims. But here's the thing. To this day, he's only paid back about $14 million. That's less than 13% of what he owes. Most of his victims never got their money back. They lost everything while Belfort lost 2 years. The movie made Belfort look like a rock star, a charming anti-hero. But the real story is uglier. The real Jordan Belfort destroyed lives. One victim, a man named Bill, invested his entire retirement, $80,000, based on a Stratton broker's lies. He lost it all. He had to go back to work at 67 years old. Another victim, a teacher, lost $50,000 she'd saved for her daughter's education. She never recovered financially. These weren't numbers on a spreadsheet. These were real people. But Belfort's story doesn't end in prison. After his release in 2006, he does something brilliant. He rewrites his own narrative. He publishes a memoir. He goes on speaking tours, charging $30,000 per appearance to teach sales techniques. He positions himself as a reformed bad boy with lessons to teach. And when Martin Scorsese turns his life into a blockbuster movie in 2013, Belfort becomes a celebrity. Critics say he's profiting off his crimes. Victims say he's a con man who never changed. But Belfort claims he's a new man trying to pay back his debts. The truth? He's made millions from the movie rights, the book deals, and the speaking fees. And yet most of his victims are still waiting for their money. So what's the real lesson here? Jordan Belfort didn't just scam people out of $200 million. He scammed the system. He got away with it for a decade because he understood human psychology, greed, trust, and the desperate belief that easy money exists. He served less time than some people do for stealing a car. He turned his crimes into a brand, and he's still selling the dream. The Wolf of Wall Street isn't just a story about fraud. It's a story about how America rewards the wrong people, and how the biggest con of all might be the one he's still running today. If this story shocked you, wait until you hear about the fake genius. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're breaking down the biggest frauds in history, one story at a time.